In this video, I'm going to talk about how inexperience led to my downfall. How inconvenience led to my downfall was pretty much like, you know, every type of, and what I said in my last video is that you're going to meet people in your life that are upper on the scale of you in experience. And they will take advantage of you, manipulate you, and try to act like, they are the victim in the situation when you really don't even realize what you're going through. The humbling fact is that we're realizing, like, deep down in the inside, that we're going through this race. And it feels like we're on an endless track full of, you know, we can't see it. It's unseen. And it's clueless. The identity of finding ourselves in a shadow is unclear. And people really don't like the idea, or people love the idea of you being clueless. And man, going through college or remotely going through what I was going through, I felt so entitled to so many people feeling like they had a chance to get over on me. People would get one over on me every time, whether that was me, my first time smoking, or my first time just dealing with women when it comes to EX, when it comes to even the threshold of dating. Like, everything that I've experienced over time made me feel like I could not have the things that I want. You have to be good, you know what I'm saying? You start being insecure, you start caring what the size is in your pants, you start having these overthoughts and overwhelming feelings because you don't think you're enough, when deep down in the inside it was just because you couldn't experience life. I realized that the size of my pants really didn't matter. The things that I wanted in my life actually did matter. I didn't have to dismantle myself for being who I was. And a lot of the girls that I had experiences with didn't let me be myself. So you can kind of sit up here and realize, like, man, like, deep down I was faking a facade because I was inexperienced, because I didn't have the lessons and the ways of life that I got taken advantage of. And that grows up with, being in a household and I having a mom that was really prone to, like, keeping me in a cage. My mom really was like the person where it was like, bro, I'm not gonna let you experience things. She would not let me mess with a girl on a deeper level. If she seen or heard that I would either kiss, touch, or feel on a woman, it was cut corners. Like, she would get angry. And so as I grew up and I finally was like, I'm gonna go to college. Little story about me, I went to college my first time, and it was a little weird because my mom was, in the hospital and stuff like that. But I found myself, like, actually experiencing real life. I had a roommate, and this is when I realized, like, man, I'm really, like, prone to not even going through these things. Like, having a roommate, having a person beside me every night, making noises, playing Dragon Ball Z late night. And I'm like, bro, I can't sleep. And even though it didn't really affect my education, deep down in the inside, I was like, dang, like, bro, all of this stuff that I'm going through right now in school is like, it's building me up to be a better person later on. But, those lessons was here nor there. Then my first semester at college, I was told by an older dude to download Tinder. Now, I'm still a virgin when I come into college. I'm like, what, 20 at the time. OG's in the hospital. I'm really not even understanding, like, man, I don't have no experience with women, so I get on Tinder. I match with this girl. She's a little heavy set, and I'm not afraid and I'm not ashamed to say, like, I like heavy set girls. They can be extremely pretty. And for the longest time in college, I was grown enough to make my own decision because I didn't really, like, have a reason to like heavy set girls in high school, because I was always embarrassed for what the next person will say in my ear, like, oh, you want to mess with a different type of person, or a heavy setter person, or, they fat shame them. You feel me? And at a certain type of point, it's like, man, as being an athlete and being a high man of looks, I liked what I liked. And that doesn't mean I don't like petite women. I don't like skinny girls, but I love all women. And in the sense where I feel like beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, which was me, then I didn't have to worry about people doing this, that, the third. But yeah, I realized that deep down in the inside, like when I was on Tinder and I did have a valid reason for, linking up with a girl that was a little heavy set, I still found myself remotely in high school and not giving her a chance because I was embarrassed that what the next man would have said. But really, I should have just went on with it, and I probably would have lost my V card if I did so, see, so such. So it's kind of like, man, I don't think being inexperienced and knowing that, you can think how you think and have a certain type of validation for how you feel. And it doesn't really matter about doing that or which the third, because lessons are built off of experience, and having that type of validation for how I felt going through the ringer, it was just crazy. Even when I was inexperienced when it came to EX, my second semester at college, um, I didn't drink or smoke beforehand when I went into school, and then I started to because obviously I was grieving and I didn't want to be back at home. But like at a certain type of point, it's like these things come at a point where I would mess with a girl. I didn't know how to do anything when it came to EX. I lost my V card in a weird way. I'll probably talk about that story time later on, but those experiences made me inexperienced because I really didn't build a deeper bond with somebody before even indulging in the things of losing my V card. Like, you see how inexperience caused me to have a terrible EX life, and it's really bad for me because honestly, deep down in the inside, I do want to indulge in more things that pertain to messing with other people, but it doesn't have the ability to really affect my psyche as it did in the past. But while I was inexperienced, and while I didn't gain these lessons over time, I could feel like I'm a solid man right now because I got away from my mother. I went to college and I was on my own, and I got to see how people were. And even when I came back home, there was still a lot of the things that I had to learn. People aren't really your friends. People hate you because of the fact that you got the things that you got, and people will try to be you and use this copy and paste method in order to steal your energy. And I wasn't messing with that. At home taught me that the little people in my area were not for me, or people in this life, you can build walls up for people that you don't see fit in your life. And I started gaining experience over time and realizing, like, man, this is part of my life. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm inexperienced, but I have a lot to learn. But overall, in the high landscape of things, you really see yourself running into a void. And it's super dark. And this shadow that has a what is it? A shadow that makes you really comfortable in the position of like, man, I don't need to learn nothing. Most of this stuff hurts. That's gonna lead you to pretty much nowhere. Like, even though my experience is bad with this, that, the third, that doesn't mean I've learned over time and I can finally go out my way and actually have a solid, healthy EX life by knowing that protection is validated. All other type of memoirs of my life, I just really sit with them and look at them in an hourglass. And as time goes on, the patience of my gaining experience and lessons can't be in obscurity, or I can't be scared of going through these things because I was inexperienced. By trying new things, by going out your way and getting over the fact that you're divinely protected in a way where you can see yourself being like, man, this happened, but I'm not gonna let this deprive me of discovering the experience in my inexperience. I don't even know if that's a word. But you realize that deep down in the inside, you don't have to fake a facade for just anything in your life. And you can feel extremely comfortable with just realize, like, man, this is something I have to look forward to in my life. This is something that I have to do. This is something that I have to be. And people are always validated into wanting to run away from inexperience. You feel me? Because you're not at an absolute zero when it comes to, like, or you are at absolute zero when it comes to building yourself up So you gain this experience over time, and it's like levels, it's like attributes. And as you start to patch up the wounds over time because you experience life, there's no point of any person taking advantage of you or giving you the right to losing something in your life. And that's the valid reason for it. It's like you're always going to feel like certain type of things in your life have uh a runway that you can look at, and the finish line is always near, it's closer than you think. And people need to realize that, man, I can go through things, I can come out of those things tenfold, and the next girl I mess with may be the one of my life. And inexperience is never bad. It's just the starting point of you gaining that experience and being who you need to become. But yeah, this is the end of the video, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed. Next video about to drop right after this. So, hey, have a great day. Blessed one. Keep motivating yourself to do good, be good, and always allow yourself to be the better person. I'll see y'all in the next video.